Not good. I've had a crappy week. Don't want to talk about it.
Crappy last week.
Yeah.
This week's been better.
No.
You've had 2 crappy weeks in a row.
Yeah, it's been crap. Just overall.
Yeah.
April's really tough for me.
April's a really tough month for you overall.
Yeah.
And we don't have to get into that if you don't want to,
No.
but maybe we should consider just taking April off
Yeah, maybe.
from the podcast
Yeah.
and give ourselves a little space there instead of, scrambling to try to.
That's true. Because I'm just not, ugh. It's gross.
And I just don't think that we can produce 52 episodes a year. So,
Yeah.
you know what I mean? That's a lot of topics and talking, and we should give ourselves a couple of months, We already take December off, but maybe we should also take off April and then, I don't know, like July.
July or something. It's your birthday month.
Yeah. I like my birthday. I like to not have any responsibilities during that month.
Yeah.
But that's,
That's
not
crazy talk.
Society's like, no.
That's great. I know every day of July you're like, it's my birthday month. I'm like, so? What? So what?
Look here, nobody celebrated my birthday month when I was a kid or anything. It's not like it's some leftover
just
from being
spoiled
spoiled.
rotten.
Yeah. It's just that I've always considered July mine, and other people who are born in July can just, take a hike. It's my month. It's my month. And I wholly own the star sign I wholly own Cancer. That's my sign. And no one else is allowed to have any traits from that.
Right on.
It's me and me alone. And my month.
Okay. Yeah. April, we should just take it off because it's not good for me.
Okay. Well, next year.
I'm just giving you 11 months notice.
This is the last week of April, so we're putting out an episode, so we might as well.
I'm just giving you 11 months notice.
Right.
To our 4 listeners. Next April, you're on your own. I think we forgot our quote of the week.
Oh, to come up with one?
Yeah.
Yeah, we did. It doesn't matter. We don't always have to have a quote of the week.
Okay, good. Because you still don't have a jingle, and I'm supposed to hold you accountable. Our faithful viewer
here's
says
the thing.
that you can't go on unless you have a jingle.
Well, here's the thing. I want to do music and I want to do jingles, but I suck at it right now. And unlike other things that I suck at, that I'm willing to like, hey, check this out. I suck at this, but I'm trying to get better. Music, I'm like, for some reason, I'm like, no, I won't show you that until it sounds good. So I do want to do jingles. Cameron seems to have some sort of like, or we're calling him Mac now. Mac has some sort of like ability to just kind of create music out of nothing. Yeah, because and he actually created a little sample that we're going to use for the conspiracy segment. Yeah. And I can write lyrics. It's just, can I perform the thing, right? Yeah. Like, that's what I'm worried about is I don't want them to be shitty, but who knows? Maybe this whole podcast is shitty and I should just not fucking care.
We are in the shitty category of iTunes.
We're on iTunes.
We are now on iTunes.
And somewhere on Spotify, as you like to say.
That's my line. Yes. Yeah. Well, because we've always raised the kids that when it comes to art and creating stuff, there are no rules.
Yeah, just go for it. And, I wish I could take that same advice on some things, but...
You should.
I know I should, but I just get really frustrated when, like, I can't, like...
Do it perfectly the first time?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's stupid. That's so dumb. That's so dumb.
It's human, though, dude.
Yeah, I guess. I do like that I've been writing and drawing every week this year because I'm to the point now where, like last week I was like... On Tuesday, I was like, oh, I didn't write anything. Well, I guess I can write something now out of my fat brain. And I just wrote it.
I know.
I just wrote it and that was it.
It was crazy.
It went out later than I wanted it to go out, but it still went out on Tuesday. And I'm really proud of it. I think it turned out to be a pretty good piece.
Yeah. Is it the looping one or is it the other one?
The What is a Man?
Oh, yeah. That one hurt.
Well,
that one hurt to...
That's something I've been like thinking about for a while.
Yeah.
So it wasn't like I just came up with it on the spot, but I wrote that whole piece on Tuesday. I feel like I'm getting better at writing the more I do it, and I feel more comfortable with it. And so I just do it and put it out there. If people don't like it, fuck them. I'm doing it for me mostly.
Yeah.
Same with the drawings. I'm just practicing and I'm like experimenting with different stuff. Like I released Batman this Friday. I haven't done anything like that. And it has like a background, right? Like most of my drawings have just been like, oh, that'd be perfect for a t-shirt or a sticker. But this one is actually like a final
piece.
Finished piece of art. And then I've got a Superman coming out next Friday, and then a Wonder Woman after that. And then maybe, I don't know, Aquaman at some point.
Ooh.
Maybe the whole Justice League. I don't know. I don't even like the Justice League, but I just think it's, fun to practice. I'm really self-conscious about the Wonder Woman one.
Yeah.
Because I don't draw women a lot. Like I don't draw female forms. And not that I don't want to, it's just that I feel like my style of cartooning just makes it either look super perverted or super like insulting to women. And I don't want to do that. Right.
Right.
I'm pretty happy with the Wonder Woman, though. When I showed it to everybody here at home, you guys laughed at it.
Well, because she's in a pose that you just don't normally see a chick, and it reminded me that sometimes I do the grr thing.
Oh, yeah.
And so it's just she just looked very pissed.
I just wanted it to look like she was in battle.
Yeah, and it does. And I don't laugh when things are funny all the time. I laugh because that caught my mood. That's a total mood.
Okay.
It was great.
Well, we'll see. When I put it out into the world, we'll see what happens. I actually might go back in and fix her arm though, because one of her arms, like I looked at it again last night, one of her arms looks a little weird, but it doesn't matter. I'm just drawing for me, and I'm drawing for, to kind of practice and try new things and get better with the digital version of drawing. Right.
Yeah.
And then the writing is always been just for me. If other people like it, cool. But I write the stories to get them out of my head. Otherwise, I go a little bit crazy.
Crazy man.
Yeah, because I think about them and I fall into these like periods of, I don't even know if I'm real.
Oh boy.
Or am I part of the story? Mm-hmm. And so like I gotta get them out. It's not healthy for me to keep them in there.
That's true.
Quote of the week. Quote of the week. Let's see. What's a good quote about commercial break?
Do your knees itch for like no reason?
Yes.
Get itch away.
Get itch away. Oh yeah. Oh, you're doing an ad.
Yeah.
Hey, do your knees itch?
All the time.
Well, I've got a product for you.
Do tell me more.
It's called Knees Itch Away.
That sounds like it could work for me.
Yeah.
Are there any crazy side effects though?
There are some crazy side effects, like your itching goes away.
Oh, maybe I could get back to gardening and walking with my grandkids.
The people should give us ads. All right, here's a quote. Quote of the week.
Yeah.
At the core, none of us were meant to be common. We were born to be comets, darting across space and time, leaving our mark as we crash into everything.
Ooh, that's a good one.
That's a quote from 2016, from the year 2016.
Oh boy, way back
then. From
then.
the year 2016, at a Harvard commencement, Donovan Livingston said that.
That's a good.
I've always really liked it because it's a juxtaposition of there being like some sort of destiny for people, but also just that destiny's pure chaos.
Yeah,
which
as
I
it
like.
should be.
Yeah,
as it should be, kind of. I think.
I like it
because no one has it put together, no one has it planned. It's just
some people like have tricked themselves into believing they don't got any problems, and I've met one person in my life that was kind of actually truly genuinely laid back about stuff, but everybody else I know has like secret shit happening in their heads and they don't know what's going on. And the bullies in school are just confused about their own lives and their own selves. I'm not saying that they should bully or that we should excuse their bullying. I'm not condoning that behavior. I'm just saying like every single person you run into and have an encounter with has had something else happen that tainted or skewed whatever encounter you have with them at some point, whether that's it was a good encounter or a bad one, right?
Yeah.
Like when you get, mad at somebody at the store, it's not because that person at the store did something to you or that even they're out of peaches.
That was just the last straw.
It was the last straw for you, or it was the ignition of like, oh, well, okay, now it's time to go, buddy. Hey, Rock, get in. No, that's a bad impression.
Don't do it.
Okay, so this week we're talking about a game again.
Yay.
It's been about a month and a half since we talked about a game last, which was Dwellings of Everdale, Eldervale, Dwellings of Eldervale. Yeah, that.
Yeah.
Where is it?
I don't know. But this week...
Did I get rid of it?
No, you didn't. You did not.
I don't think I did.
No, you didn't.
I don't see it, though. I don't know where it's at.
It'll be fine.
I lost it.
It's somewhere.
So that's what we talked about last time. This time, we're talking about a game from a French publisher and French designer, Javier George, and Pearl Games. And it's called Ginkgopolis.
Ginkgopolis.
Yes. And this game originally came out in 2012, and it kind of flew under the radar. Like people who follow Euro games were, oh yeah, I'm going to play this game. Mm-hmm. It comes from the designer of Carson City, which you played and like. And it's a very Euro game, right? Like collect resources, build things.
Right. But it's usually
control areas.
They're usually like straightforward too. You do one thing.
Yeah.
And you make it happen if you have the resources. And then certain things happen based on what you put out or what you did. And then if you do it right, things trigger off of other things. And then you have this, domino effect of, well, now that I placed out a thing here, then these cards over here give me these resources. So then it sets me up for the next turn.
Yeah, it's good. It definitely has that kind of snowballing engine building piece of it. So basically what this game is it's a drafting game, which means that we each have a set of cards. We choose a card to play and we pass the rest of those cards to our neighbor.
Yeah, so you're not guaranteed to have all of those cards that you start with at every turn. So you have to pick the best one in that moment to do something on the board.
And it also opens up for like, okay, well, if I pass this red 19 card to Lou, then she'll be able to go ahead and, benefit from that. But if I then just take that card and play it as a different piece, then now she won't have access to that card for at least another round, right?
Which, I can barely do that. Because I'm trying really hard to think of my own setup and my own resources and my own buildings. And also we have to say that we played this very fair, like, well,
we typically do.
We didn't take over each other's spots like you can do.
Yeah. We typically don't play very mean. We play pretty like easy on each other.
Yes. And I think that's more fun to do it that way.
Yeah. And it's just really like the only time I can see that you do like a mean move or something is if it's really the best thing for you or it's the only thing you can do.
Yeah.
Right. But otherwise, why? Yeah. Like it's just to be mean.
You did do it to me a couple times during these
because they were the only thing I had, the only thing I could do. But yeah, so this game is a drafting game and you pick a card and that with that card, you can do one of three things. You can play the card for resources or tiles or points, or you can play the card with a tile and then you are either able to expand the city or build the city upwards. Like, there's these two spatial elements. It's the outside edges, like expanding the size of the city.
Yeah, the perimeter.
And then building on top of other tiles to increase the height of the city.
Yeah.
I guess we should have probably said that the whole goal of the game is that you're urban planners and you're trying to rebuild the city after catastrophe.
That's what I always like to hear is that like what is the goal and like what is the flavor of it all?
Yeah.
Right? It's like because we're trying to and it does, the buildings, are just like kind of spacey age buildings. There's no names on it. It's just sequential numbers.
Yeah, so the numbers just come into play because then that tells you, the cards are numbered as well, and it tells you where you can place on top of, or which building you can exploit when you just play the card to get resources.
And then to build to build the perimeter, it's letter rows.
Letter cards, yeah.
Yeah. So say you get like GH and then a number 7.
Yeah.
Well, then I can pick which one I want to do. Do I want to build in GH, or do I want to go up with number 7 or something?
Yeah. Or
on
just
the 7
exploit
spot.
number 7.
Yeah, exactly.
And exploiting is you just play the card without a tile, and then you get whatever that tile would produce. And so there's 3 colors in the game: red, blue, and yellow. Red always produces resources, which you need to build. Blue always produces tiles, which you need to build up or out. And then yellow is always points, which you need to win.
Yeah. So super confused on all of that because, you can remember color corresponding things.
Right.
Right. But then when you go to, once the game gets kind of advanced and you're within a few turns of maybe the end, or what you think is the end, but it's really not the end, because then you can put tiles back out. It's the whole thing.
Yeah.
Once you get into a more into the game a little bit, and it's built up, and there's, your player color pieces are out there, and the other opponents' player color pieces are out there, and you're like, well, I don't know what the hell to do. And then you're okay, I'll just build on top of here. I'm going to build on a 7, but now this is a 10. I've got the right color. I've got the a right amount of resources, but now I don't know what sets any of that off, because now that I'm adjacent to certain things, what triggers? You got,
so you were getting confused between what's triggering when you place on top of another tile versus when you place on the outside perimeter.
Yeah.
So the outside perimeter, when you place there, anything that's orthogonally adjacent to the tile you placed will fire, and you will get the resources based off of what color that tile is.
Oh, what color it is.
Right?
Okay.
When you build on top of something, you're not going to get anything for that around you. You'll just get things from your bonus cards that are off on the side.
Oh, all right.
Yeah.
See, confusing. And
I can see how it's a little bit confusing. We should say that I've played the game 6 times and you've played the game 3 times. And 2 of those times for both of us were today.
Yeah. And we also, we played it on, extreme hard mode, because we had a 5-year-old screaming at us the whole time. But again, we always choose the hard mode.
She wasn't screaming the whole time, but she did get a little
because
upset.
She wants to play with us. And she's not at that age yet where she can understand resource, management. And so...
Well, I don't know if it's even the resource management, just so much as order of operations.
I was just teasing, but yeah, exactly. She just wants to play. I thought she'd be okay with just sitting next to me and playing with some pieces and keeping track of my points or whatever. But no, she wanted to actually play the game.
Yeah.
And then she got upset. But we always play it on extreme hard, expert mode.
Expert mode, yeah.
And we're trying to parent while we're trying to battle each other,
right.
Developing a city that, you're supposed to have brain function. I just can't do it, man. It's hard.
Yeah.
Hard to do.
Yeah, I think that whenever there's a spatial or area control element to a game, you tend to get intimidated by it. Mm-hmm. And I don't know exactly why that is. I like those kinds of elements to a game whenever you're building something up or out.
Okay, if that was the only thing, yeah. But then you so you're getting points based on building out the perimeter or building up. But then you're also getting points on area control
of color.
Of color.
Right.
So for me, I don't know which to concentrate on. You can't concentrate on all 3.
Yeah.
No, because you can't, because you don't have my brain.
No, but in this game you can. Like, you're right. Like in most...
I tried my best, and I did worse on the second game than I did on the first.
Well, we'll get to that in a second, but I wanted to just say, most Euro games, you're right, you can't do everything. You have to go, okay, well, I'm going to focus down this path, or I'm going to focus down that path. In this game, you're not really going to focus on anything because it's all tools, and the thing that you're focusing on the most, that's going to give you the most points, is that area control piece.
Yeah.
And the placing outside and placing on top of are just tools to get those pieces into place.
And also, so you go into any kind of project, and not just a game, but any kind of project, and you have a goal and you have like a focus in mind, right? Mm-hmm. You go, okay, my favorite color is blue, and I'm going to concentrate on blue. Well, but if you don't get the right draw or the right cards from things, or like a blind draw of the tiles, you don't get blue.
Right, if you're not getting any blue tiles.
Yeah, so then I have to orient my brain into, let's focus on the right move right this second, not ahead. Not, it doesn't matter what color you're getting or building or whatever right this second.
Right.
Maybe later on you can kind of look at what you're typically putting out your builds or whatever, and then make something from that. But it's always hard to start a new game not knowing exactly what you're going to get.
Yeah.
It's not predictable at all. So for my brain, I don't know what to do.
Yeah, Ginkgopolis does not have perfect information,
and so
because it has card draw and it has tile draw.
Yeah.
So you do have to be tactical in those regards.
Yeah.
But there is an overarching strategy of, you look at the board and you go, okay, well, I'm in a red area right now. Mm-hmm. I can make that red area larger. Now you're in that red area. How can I get you out of that red area or increase my presence in that red area?
Yeah.
And at some point you go, I'm going to have to abandon the red area because you've overpowered me there, right? You've got 5 there. I've got 3.
Right.
It's going to be really hard for me to catch up in that red area. Mm-hmm. So I'll just take those 3 points and move on to this blue area where I'm really excelling.
Yeah.
And in the second game that we played today, it went by a lot faster than the first game, which is why our scores are so much lower.
Oh, okay. The first one, we started around 1, and we were done around 3.
Yeah.
And then
well, that was a reteach of the game.
Yeah, because it's
been a while.
It's been a long time since I played that first one. And then the second one, we started around 3, and then it only took like an hour and a half or something.
I think it was like 45 minutes for the second one.
But still, I did way worse. The first game, I got 70 points. And then the second game, I got 49 points.
Right. But in the first game, I got 89 points.
Yeah.
And in the second game, only 68.
Yeah.
So you didn't do way worse. The game was just shorter.
Oh.
So the scores were overall lower.
Yeah.
Because we burnt through those tiles really fast.
Yeah.
And I think that's an example of how this game varies from game to game, right? Our final board state looked completely different.
Yeah.
I had all of the cards that I had gave me bonus points and resources and tiles for just playing cards by themselves.
Yeah.
So I was really driving that.
Yeah.
And I was trying the strategy of just collecting as many tiles as I could and then going, okay, now I'm going to build. But it kind of bit me in the butt because the game ended because I collected so many tiles.
Yeah.
But I think it's interesting that you can still have a viable game, just lower scoring and faster.
Yeah.
If you try a different strategy.
I think that's the one plus that I have for this, is that every game is going to be different, no matter what.
Very different, yeah.
You can do back-to-back games like we did today, and it was very, very different.
Yeah. All 6 games I've played of this have been entirely different. Different scores, different lengths.
Mm-hmm. It wouldn't get necessarily boring, but it would, it'd be very, very different.
Yeah.
And you couldn't go for the same things or the same areas or the same tiles.
No, it's based on the cards you get.
Yeah, exactly.
And the tiles you get, yeah.
So overall, are we doing an overall thing right now?
Oh, are we there?
I don't know. Are we?
Do you have anything more to say about the game?
No, I didn't really like it.
Right. No, that's totally valid.
Valid.
That's viable. That's totally viable. It's valid. Yeah.
So the score on the scale of rad to okay, this one is annoying. Okay. For me and how I want to use my brain.
Do you think it's the area control part of it?
There's too many variables that I cannot predict reasonably.
Right.
And it's always thinking on my feet.
Well, because you didn't, the reason I asked that is because you didn't like Small World the first couple of times we played that. And then when I explained to you that Small World isn't about area control as much as it's about how much area you spread into on your turn, because you score at the end of your turn, every turn.
Yeah.
You don't care if those guys get wiped off the board in between when it comes back to you, because now you're going to get to put more guys on the board.
Right.
And then you started going, oh, I like it. Right.
Well, I do like Small World. That's a different kind of game.
I guess we should do an episode about Small World because it's a good game.
But this one, it's too much like just take this random set of circumstances and make something out of it. It's too much thinking on my feet. And it is uncomfortable the whole time about, I don't know what to do. What am I do? He's already done. Oh my God, what's happening? That's how I feel.
So I rate this game on my personal scale as high as possible, which is an 8.
Really?
Right.
Nice.
I love this game. I think it's fantastic. It is exactly the right length, exactly the right amount of brain power needed. It's the right amount of puzzle. It's the right amount of pieces moving around. Ugh. It's the right amount of turn length, right? Like you play simultaneously, right?
Yeah.
We each pick a card, draw it, and then get ready to hand off. But then we play our cards at the same time because of the numbered abstract system of it. Yeah. We can't really run over each other.
Not too badly.
Not at all. Like I can go somewhere where it kind of messes up the tile that you were going to play.
Right. It can cut me off completely.
But you can't go where I was going to go.
Right. Yeah. Right.
So I really enjoyed the game, and I was really hoping that you would like it more because I feel like it's a good game, a good 2-player couples game. Cameron seemed to like it, though. I played it with Cameron a couple of days ago.
That's because Cameron's brain sees the whole system thing, And
yeah, he's good at area control stuff.
He can see all the different moving pieces and put them in a working system.
Right.
I don't know. It was too much for me. Not that I did horribly. It's just that,
No, you didn't do horribly at all. You did. We can't win them all, right?
I should. Shouldn't I?
You should. The first time we played,
I don't think I won that one either.
No, you did win that one.
I did?
Yeah, let me grab the score real quick.
What the heck?
Yeah, there's 80. You won by 80. Or not by 80. You won 80 to 46. Sorry, not by 80. So it's pretty good, if you ask me.
I guess.
You don't think so?
No, I'm a lot older now.
You know what it is with you and scores, though? Is like if you score 80, then you're like, I can never score less than 80, even if I win, because that didn't do as good as the last time I played.
Okay, so that's what makes me like, a good opponent is that I'm not trying to beat you. I'm just trying to beat me last time.
Yeah.
And this second game, I didn't even do that. So,
but again,
made me feel stupid.
The second game was shorter.
Yeah,
if I got 89 points and then you got, what was it, 40 something in that second game, then you could go, oh, what did I do wrong? But because we both scored exactly the same amount lower than our first game, then you go, oh, okay, well, the game was just shorter or some other thing came into play.
I see.
So this game was originally out in 2012. It went out of print for a very long time, and it just got reprinted this year because people were saying, hey, this game is great. Please reprint it. It's too expensive on the secondary market.
Yeah.
So Pearl Games is like, okay, we'll give it a shot. They reprinted it, and now they're going to reprint the expansion because it's selling so well now.
Well, thanks, Pearl Games. I appreciate it so much.
So Pearl Games, if you want this game, I think they have it on Amazon. They also have it at any online board game retailer. But I think it's great. Lou thinks it's
annoying.
I will say, though, she did say earlier that she would play it again.
Yeah, I'd play it again, but I'd be super annoyed.
The whole time?
Annoyed about it.
Do you feel like it's a game you would ever feel better about Or is it just a game that's always going to be annoying?
I think if I have this brain going forward, then yeah, it's always going to be annoying.
So no matter how many times you play it and get used to the way that it plays out, you don't think you could get into that?
I don't know. Maybe.
You don't
Maybe
like Terra Mystica either, right?
Terra Mystica is one of those very thinky.
It's got a lot going on, yeah. A lot of moving pieces.
Yeah. I don't know what it is. Some games they can just like draw me in and keep me there. And then other ones I'm just like, nah.
Do you think it's the theme? Because Small World has a ton, going back to that, it has a ton of moving pieces and random, like the powers and the races get, factions get mixed up, and that's all random, but it's like got a theme that you think is cute, and then it has that nice player aid, so you can just keep track of what.
I guess that's a good point, because it's like the last game we played, the Eldervale game, it just had a really cool theme, and
it's got a lot going on too.
It made me more interested in it.
Yeah.
This one, I don't know.
You didn't like the theme.
I don't know.
Yeah, I've noticed that you're not really as into like Euro-y, abstract-y games as you are into the games that are like, hey, vampires. And you're like, yeah, vampires, that sounds great. And I go, okay, well, first you're going to take the Cone of Dunshire. And you're like, I'm with you. I'm following along. And then I'm like, in this game, I'm like, you just place down a tile and then you put a little gray piece on it to mark that we got to get that card later. And you're like, what? How many points? I don't know what, like, you know what I mean?
Yeah, okay, but
it's a theme thing, I think.
Okay, it might be, but a lot of games are like, a Friends episode where they're teaching this new game show and it's called Bamboozle.
Oh, yeah.
And you're like, what are you even saying? You're not saying words to me right now. All you're saying is mechanics of this game that I have no idea. What are you talking about?
A lot of games can be like that. And a lot of the games that I love the most
are like that.
Well, they have really dry themes, right? Like, okay, we're all farmers in the 1800s.
Why?
And we have to make sure that we build enough clay rooms in our farmhouse to house all of us plus our pet pig. And you go, pet pig? You said pet pig?
That would be the thing that I would attach to.
But then there's other games like the Dwellings game where it's like, it's this fantasy theme with dragons and big monsters, and you're a wizard and soldiers, and you're coming out to like try to, get the land back, or like Root. Okay. Root is a game that I thought for sure you would hate, but I was like, but look, you've got like cute little pieces, and you're like, I'll give it a try, and then you ended up really liking Root.
Except for there was like a certain faction that was like wanted to work with. Certain factions are supposed to work together.
Right.
And Liam was trying to work with me, and I'm like, go away. Just leave me alone. But you bring the weirdest games to the table. You go, this is a game about quilting. And I'm like, I've never quilted in my life. I don't think I even have a quilt. What is your problem? Seriously.
I have no idea.
And this is a game where you stand up and you turn around 3 times and you get a point. I'm like, but why? This doesn't make any sense. What am I supposed to be doing? Anyways.
Oh, well, I
really like this. This is fun. I just feel dumb.
Well, no, you know what I need to do is I need to just make sure that I bring games to the table that have themes that you like. Here's another example.
Yes, go ahead.
You hated Agricola, which is a farming simulation, but you really like Caverna, which is exactly the same game, but with dwarves and fantasy elements.
Yeah, and you're more so collecting animals on your farm than you are trying to make the farm work for you.
Well, yeah. Yes, that's true.
Too.
Yeah.
Also.
Yeah.
In addition to.
I'm just thinking from a theme perspective, you reject Agricola, but you're like, yes, Caverna sounds good. I like halflings. I like goblins.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. And I like little cows and piggies and stuff.
Quacks of Quedlingberg, too. It's witches. It's the witches one where you're making the potions and it might explode on you.
Oh, I love that game.
Right. because it's got a theme that you enjoy. If it didn't have that theme, if it was like, okay, now we're setting up dominoes in a circle, and if you draw a red domino, it explodes, you'd be like, duh, I don't care about that.
I am the dumbest. I'm the dumbest person.
You're not dumb.
You just made me sound like the dumbest person. What is that?
That's not what I meant.
You're
I just meant
silly.
that you were like, oh God.
That's what my brain feels like when you're like, and it's got little quilting pieces you can put on this little tile board where you can make and patch your own quilt.
I am never going to live down patchwork.
For points, we can sit here for 2 hours and we can put cardboard pieces on a game where it's making a quilt. Isn't that great? No, no, it isn't.
I know that you're joking right now, but we did play a game called Patchwork about making quilts, and it was misexplained a rule.
Not good.
I misexplained a rule. We got to the end of the game, and then I was like, okay, well, now you're going to lose points for all of the empty spaces on your mat. And you stood up, grabbed your little mat, and flipped it. You just flipped it, and then you walked off. And I was like, how are we going to score it now? Like
I'll give you a score.
You were so mad because I had in your defense, I had explained the rule incorrectly.
Yeah.
But I thought I was explaining it correctly. I was saying the right things. I was saying it in the wrong way. Like at the end of the day, both things.
You were upset that I was upset. You're just like, well, how are we going to score this now? You win, MFer, okay? You win. Just take it as a win and don't ever bring me that game again.
No, I sold it. I sold it like the next day. I was like, this is not going to work ever.
Good.
But yeah, that was a quilting game. And you did not like it. But
you have another one. I swear you have it still. It's making dresses.
Yeah.
Oh, no.
Rococo.
No. And then there's one where you're making glass windows. What is it?
The stained
glass windows.
Oh, yeah. It's called Azul.
No.
You don't like that game.
Oh, I like Azul.
Oh, okay.
But there's another one that you're like, this is going to be really cool. Don't even.
Oh, Monasterium.
I don't know.
Where you have little monks and you're going around and building stained glass windows. You haven't even played that one though. You just heard about it and you're like, no, thank you.
I just heard about it and my eyes cannot roll far enough back into my head.
I have another one. I haven't asked you to play it because I just didn't after the dress one. I just didn't know if it was. It's called Pret-a-Porter, and you are a fashion house, and you have to get your fashion line ready for the big show.
Have we met? Hi.
I'm sorry, but when it's not medieval farming, I go, ooh. That's what I do.
Have we met?
Yes, we met.
When's the last time I wore a dress?
It doesn't matter about that.
Okay, but that means fashion. What kind of, my line of fashion is what kind of sweatshirt am I wearing today?
But what I do is so many of these games are these medieval farming themes, which means then you have to do well in the game, you have to kill an animal.
Right, I ain't doing it.
And that doesn't feel right to me anymore. And so when I see a theme that's like, hey, you're running a fashion company and it's going to be the same kind of mechanics as a farming simulation, but it's going to be like you're buying and selling threads and buttons. You get what I'm saying?
Yes, I do.
So then I'm like, maybe this will feel better.
I do get what you're saying.
Right.
But do you get what I am saying? Sir, do you?
I do. I have a game about running a fast food franchise.
I would rather play Ginkgopolis
than a fast food franchise. Oh,
okay.
So shocking.
Oh boy.
Would you rather? Okay, let me ask you this.
This is so. Would you rather play a game?
Would you rather play a game about the Dune universe, or the exact same game, but it doesn't have a theme that you recognize?
The Dune game.
Right. So it's not about the mechanics for you.
Not always.
Like Ginkgopolis' mechanics aren't bothering you. But if it was like a Star Wars theme on it and we were building up rebel bases instead of the city,
yeah, I would.
You'd be more into it,
I
right?
might be able to force myself more into it. Yeah.
You might even have liked it.
Let's not go that far.
Well, what if instead of putting little hexagon cylinders on everything, you were putting little X-Wings?
Well, stop it. Because now I like you again.
I'm just saying,
know.
I think for you,
I'm not.
Theme plays a big role.
Yes. But I mean, who am I? I'm just one person. There's lots of nerds out there that
you are my
want
favorite
something
person
else.
and the person whom I most want to play games with. Right?
Yeah.
And the problem is a lot of the games that I think are excellently designed and play well and quickly have really kind of boring themes.
That's lame.
But theme's not as important to me. So
Yeah.
I just like playing this game. I don't care that it's about like, building the wall in Czechoslovakia in 1689.
Yeah.
That doesn't bother me, right? If it was about something cooler, I'd still like it. But I don't like it less because it's about something that's kind of boring.
Yeah.
Whereas with you, games aren't that important in your life. And so if you're going to play the game, it should also be cool, right?
Right. Maybe. Yeah.
I think that's fair to say, right?
Okay, but does that make me sound dumb?
No. And it doesn't make you bad. I've always been a gamer my whole life since I was a child. You haven't been, right?
No.
You're only play games at all because of me.
That's true.
Because I'm like, hey, do you want to play a game? And you're
Yeah.
like, not really, but I guess.
It goes, do you want to play a game? No, not really. It has, Buffy in it. Okay. All right. Let me see. I'll try it.
Right. It's
or
a theme
it
thing
has
for you.
The Invisible Man. Or what is that? What are those games?
Unmatched. Yeah.
Unmatched.
We still need to play the Buffy set.
Yeah. Yeah.
But you got mad because they had faith in it, I think.
Well, okay. Ugh.
And you said it was dead to you.
We're losing viewers left and right.
Well, there
now.
was better choices than Faith. I get why they put Faith though, because if they want to do like an expansion, right, they have other big characters. But what I don't understand is, well, I guess it makes sense, right? It's the Buffy game, not an Angel game. So I feel like Cordelia would be Angel's sidekick, but it's Faith in this. But I guess in Buffy, that's true, right? In Buffy, Cordelia doesn't have a relationship with Angel, right? But Faith does. They have that kind of like trying to save each other relationship.
I plead the fifth.
I don't like the Faith character either.
You.
And in general, Elijah Dushku's whole like kind of like cocky, sassy attitude doesn't do her any favors, but I like the show as a whole, so I kind of just try to ignore her behavior in it, right?
Yeah.
Anyways, okay, so that I think we're clear on the game. I think that it's a great game. I think that it's fun to play. I think that the theme doesn't hurt it at all, but it could be a different theme and it would be the same game. You think it's super annoying.
Not super.
Oh, just annoying.
Just
Straight
annoying.
flat annoying.
Yeah.
Fair. That is a fairness. Okay. Well, thank you for playing the game with me and talking about another game on our podcast that's not about games.
You're welcome.
I really appreciate that. I appreciate that you go out of your way to do things that I like doing that you don't necessarily. And I love you for it.
That's because I love you too.
The Lou and Me podcast is a Matthias Source production. The song is No Carpets by the New Forevers. Produced and edited by Moose. Hosted by Lou and me.
Thanks for listening.